There comes a moment in the life of every seeker when the question arises, why am I still not living the life I know I'm meant for, even though I'm doing everything right? You might wake up in the morning, write down the 3 things you're grateful for, close your journal, and smile with the hope that this practice alone will unlock abundance. You've heard the advice from countless teachers, you've read the books, you've listened to the podcasts, and everyone seems to repeat the same mantra: gratitude changes everything. And yet as the weeks and months pass, you notice something uncomfortable. Despite your daily gratitude, your reality looks the same. The job still feels draining, the relationship still feels stuck, and the money doesn't flow the way you desire. Deep down, you begin to wonder if maybe you're doing something wrong, or worse, if the universe has somehow forgotten you. This quiet frustration is something many spiritual seekers never talk about openly, but it's a shared experience. There is almost a guilt that creeps in. After all, you're supposed to be thankful for what you have, right? You tell yourself that others have less, that you should be satisfied, that gratitude is the key. But in the silence of your heart, you still feel the ache. You still feel that something is missing. That ache is not a sign of failure. It's not proof that you are ungrateful. It's a signal, a gentle whisper from the deepest part of you, that gratitude on its own is not enough. Gratitude, beautiful as it is, becomes incomplete when it is not matched with the frequency of the reality you want to experience. Think of it this way. Gratitude is like a candle. It shines, it warms, and it brings a gentle glow into the darkness. But if you are standing in a vast night, one candle will not light the entire horizon. Gratitude is a beginning, not the whole journey. And this is where so many seekers unknowingly get stuck. They light the candle, and then wait for the entire landscape of their lives to transform, without realizing that there is a greater fire, a larger frequency, that must be ignited for true reality shifting to occur. What keeps people from stepping into that deeper alignment is not laziness or lack of devotion, it is misunderstanding. Gratitude has been marketed in the modern spiritual world as the golden ticket to abundance. Influencers and coaches speak of gratitude lists as though they are magic wands that instantly rewrite your reality. And while these practices are not wrong, they are only fragments of the truth. They open the door but do not invite you fully inside. If you've ever felt that your gratitude practice isn't working, it's because you've been given only half the map. Here is the secret. The universe does not respond to words on paper. It does not respond to lists or mantras alone. The universe responds to frequency. It responds to the vibration you embody, not the one you think about once in the morning before going back to old patterns of worry and fear. Gratitude, when practiced without alignment, is like saying thank you while still holding doubt in your chest. It is like whispering love, but carrying tension in your body. The outer ritual does not override the inner frequency. This is why so many seekers feel stuck in a loop. They are practicing gratitude in the mind, but their energy remains anchored in fear, scarcity, or longing. They are thankful in words but resistant in vibration. And the truth is, vibration always wins. You cannot trick the universe by writing a list of 10 things you love while secretly vibrating lack. Your frequency is the language the quantum field understands. And unless gratitude rises from a truly aligned state, it becomes a surface-level action rather than a transformative state of being. But here's the beauty. The very fact that you are watching this now, that you are drawn to these words, means that you are ready to move beyond the surface. You are ready to explore what most people never discover, that gratitude is the doorway, but frequency alignment is the key that unlocks it. This realization is not about rejecting gratitude or dismissing its power. It is about seeing gratitude as a part of a much larger symphony. When combined with alignment, gratitude becomes amplified, expansive, and magnetic. Imagine standing on a cliff overlooking the ocean. You could close your eyes and say, "I'm so grateful for the sea," and that would bring you a brief sense of peace. But if you align with the sea, if you breathe with its rhythm, let your heart expand with its vastness, feel its power coursing through you, suddenly you are not just grateful, you are resonating with it. You become one with the very energy you admire. That is the difference between gratitude alone and gratitude in alignment. In this journey together, we will explore why gratitude by itself often leaves us feeling unfulfilled, and how alignment with frequency transforms gratitude from a simple practice into a reality-shifting power. We will go deeper into the science and the spirit behind frequency, unravel the illusions that keep us small, and uncover the practices that help us embody the very vibration of the life we desire. This is not about abandoning gratitude, it is about expanding it into its fullest potential. So, if you have ever wondered why your gratitude lists haven't changed your life, if you have ever questioned why the universe feels silent despite your devotion, take a deep breath. You are not failing, you are awakening. The truth is, you were never meant to stop at gratitude. You were meant to rise into alignment, to become a living frequency of your dreams. Gratitude is the whisper, alignment is the song, and when you learn to sing it, the universe cannot help but sing back. For many people on the spiritual path, gratitude becomes the shining promise of transformation. It feels accessible, simple, and universally celebrated. Everywhere you look, someone is saying, just be grateful, and everything will shift. And so, you commit yourself. You write lists of blessings, you whisper thank you before bed, you force yourself to look for silver linings in difficult moments. At first there is a small spark of relief. Gratitude softens the edges of your worries, it helps you notice beauty you might have overlooked, and it creates a sense of perspective. But as weeks pass, a strange paradox begins to reveal itself. Despite being grateful, you still feel trapped in the same cycles. This is where confusion sets in. You wonder why your life still looks the same, even though you've done exactly what every teacher told you. You begin to ask yourself hard questions. Am I not grateful enough? Am I doing this wrong? Maybe the universe doesn't hear me. This is the shadow side of the gratitude movement. When it is presented as the sole ingredient for transformation, it becomes not liberation, but pressure. Instead of feeling expanded, many seekers end up feeling guilty. They believe they're failing at spirituality, simply because their gratitude hasn't produced the miracles they expected. The truth is that gratitude, on its own, can become a spiritual band-aid. It covers the wound temporarily, but does not heal it at the root. Imagine someone stuck in a relationship that drains their energy, repeating every day, I'm so grateful I have a partner. Those words may soften the sting for a moment, but deep inside their frequency is vibrating with dissatisfaction, resentment, and unmet needs. The universe does not respond to the words, it responds to the vibration beneath them. Gratitude used as a mask cannot shift the underlying frequency. This is why some people seem to do gratitude practices for years without seeing their lives change. They are practicing gratitude as a thought exercise rather than as an energetic alignment. They are thankful with their minds, while their bodies and hearts remain anchored in fear, lack, or longing. It is as if they are sending mixed signals into the field of creation. On one hand, they say, I am thankful. On the other, they vibrate, I am afraid it's not enough. And the universe, like a mirror, reflects the vibration more than the words. It is important to pause here and affirm something. There is nothing wrong with you if this has been your experience. You have not failed at manifestation. You have not been abandoned by the universe. You are simply at a threshold. You are being invited to expand beyond the illusion that gratitude alone is the key. The fact that you've noticed the limits of gratitude means your awareness is ready for a deeper truth. Consider how often gratitude is practiced from a place of desperation rather than genuine alignment. Someone might say, I'm grateful for my paycheck, but what they truly feel is, this isn't enough, and I'm scared about next month. Another might write, I'm grateful for my health, while inside they're terrified of illness. Gratitude, when forced or layered over fear, does not elevate frequency. It creates internal resistance. It becomes a performance of spirituality, rather than an embodiment of it. This is the illusion, believing that gratitude, when practiced mechanically, will automatically magnetize abundance. But gratitude written in ink is not the same as gratitude embodied in frequency. You can tell the difference instantly. When you are truly aligned, gratitude feels alive in your body. It warms your chest, expands your breath, and quiets the noise of doubt. When it is practiced from misalignment, it feels hollow, repetitive, and disconnected, like reciting words without meaning. The old self, the one still living in cycles of fear and longing, clings to gratitude rituals as if they are talismans. The old self says, if I just keep doing this, eventually something will change. But the new self, the awakened self, realizes that gratitude is not meant to be clung to. It is meant to be lived through resonance. Gratitude is not about checking off a list of things you should appreciate. It is about shifting into a frequency where appreciation is natural, effortless, and woven into your state of being. This contrast is what determines whether gratitude expands you or traps you. The old self repeats, I'm grateful, while secretly vibrating doubt. The new self lives in such alignment with their desired reality that gratitude flows without effort. Gratitude becomes not something they force, but something they embody. We must be honest here. Many teachings in the modern spiritual space simplify gratitude to the point of distortion. They reduce it to a trendy practice, stripped of its deeper essence, and present it as the singular path to abundance. But when seekers discover that their lives remain unchanged despite their devotion, they feel betrayed. They blame themselves, when in truth, it is the teaching that was incomplete. Gratitude is powerful, yes, but it is not the whole picture. Let's use a metaphor. Imagine you want to tune into a specific radio station, one that plays the song of abundance, love and joy. Gratitude is like adjusting the volume knob. It makes the music louder in your awareness, and that can be wonderful. But if you haven't tuned the frequency dial, you're still on the wrong station. You might turn the volume up as loud as you want, but you will never hear the song you desire until the dial itself is aligned. Gratitude without frequency alignment is just volume without tuning. So if you've felt disappointed, if you've wondered why your gratitude hasn't magnetized the life you crave, it is not because you're unworthy or unspiritual. It is because you've been given only half of the truth. Gratitude is an entry point. It opens the heart just enough to glimpse what's possible. But to step fully into that possibility, you must move beyond gratitude into resonance. You must not only think grateful thoughts, but embody the frequency of the reality you wish to live, and this is where the true journey begins. Once you see through the illusion of gratitude alone, you are free to step into the deeper truth of vibration. You are free to stop blaming yourself, stop doubting your worth, and start aligning with the field of energy that has been waiting for you all along. Gratitude was never meant to be the destination. It was always meant to be the doorway, and now you are ready to walk through it. To truly understand why gratitude alone is not enough, we must step into the realm where science and spirit meet. This is the space where quantum physics whispers the same truths that ancient mystics have sung for centuries. The language may differ. One speaks of vibrations and waveforms, the other of resonance and sacred energy, but both point to the same reality. Everything in existence is frequency. At its most fundamental level, the universe is not made of solid matter. What appears solid is, in truth, an intricate dance of energy, particles vibrating at incredible speeds, fields interacting, possibilities collapsing into form. Quantum physicists call it the observer effect. The realization that reality is not fixed, but influenced by the consciousness that perceives it. In simple terms, your energy, your vibration, your frequency, plays an undeniable role in shaping the reality you experience. This is why alignment matters. If the universe is frequency, then the way you vibrate determines the reality you tune into. Just as a radio can pick up endless stations, but only plays the one it's tuned to, you too are surrounded by infinite possibilities. Love, abundance, joy, peace, they are all frequencies that already exist, but unless your inner vibration matches them, they remain in the background, unheard, unnoticed, unreachable. Gratitude, when practiced genuinely, does raise your vibration. It helps you move into states of appreciation and openness. But gratitude is only one note in the great symphony of frequencies. Imagine listening to an orchestra, where only the violins are playing. The sound is beautiful, but it is not complete. Frequency alignment means bringing the entire orchestra into harmony, your thoughts, your emotions, your body, your energy field, so that together they resonate with the reality you wish to step into. Emotions are one of the clearest indicators of frequency. Each feeling vibrates at a unique energetic signature. Fear, shame, and guilt vibrate at low frequencies, constricting and heavy. Love, joy, and freedom vibrate at high frequencies, expansive and light. Gratitude sits beautifully in the higher range, but it is not the peak. It is a doorway emotion that can lead to even greater states when combined with alignment. This is why someone can be thankful and yet still feel unfulfilled, because while gratitude lifts them momentarily, other parts of their being remain in lower states, pulling their overall frequency back down. Think of it like tuning an instrument. If you pluck one string, and it is perfectly tuned, the note sounds pure. But if the other strings are off, the overall sound is discordant. Gratitude is one string tuned well, but alignment is the tuning of the entire instrument of your being. Only when all strings vibrate together does the music of your desired reality play clearly. Ancient spiritual traditions understood this long before modern science began to confirm it. Mystics spoke of resonance, of becoming one with the divine, of entering states of union where the self dissolves into a higher vibration. They knew that prayer or ritual alone was not enough, unless the heart and soul were aligned with the frequency of what was being invoked. This is why some prayers seemed to move mountains while others remained unanswered. The difference was not in the words but in the vibration behind them. Quantum physics, in its own way, echoes the same truth. It teaches that possibilities exist as waves until observed. The act of observation collapses the wave into a particle, into reality. But the quality of that observation, the consciousness observing, matters. If you observe from fear, you collapse reality into fearful outcomes. If you observe from alignment, you collapse into realities that mirror that harmony. This is not mystical poetry. It is the direct implication of how energy responds to consciousness. Here lies the profound link between science and spirit. Both reveal that reality is participatory. You are not a passive victim of circumstance. You are a co-creator, and the tool you wield is frequency. Gratitude, therefore, is only powerful when it flows from an aligned state, when it is not simply words or thoughts, but the natural expression of your vibration. To bring this into tangible experience, consider the metaphor of a radio dial. Imagine abundance is broadcasting on frequency 101.5 FM. If you are tuned to 87.9, no amount of gratitude will suddenly broadcast abundance on your station. You might say thank you for money, you might journal about financial blessings, but if your inner frequency is still tuned to lack, what you receive will match lack. The universe is precise. It does not misinterpret signals. You receive what you broadcast. Alignment, then, is the art of tuning yourself to the exact frequency of the reality you wish to live. This explains why two people can practice the same gratitude exercise with entirely different outcomes. One feels their entire being expand as they write, their heart glowing, their body light, their breath flowing deeply. They are aligned, and so gratitude amplifies their vibration into resonance with abundance. The other writes dutifully, their mind elsewhere, their body tense, their energy riddled with worry. They may write the same words, but their frequency remains in resistance, and so nothing changes. The difference is not the exercise, it is the frequency alignment beneath it. But how do you know if you are aligned? The simplest answer is, you feel it. Alignment is not a concept in the mind, but a state of being. It feels like flow, like ease, like expansion. It feels as though life is carrying you, not as though you are pushing against it. When aligned, gratitude arises naturally, not forced, not scripted, but as a spontaneous expression of the heart. You don't have to make a list to remind yourself. You simply feel grateful because your frequency is harmonized with the reality you desire. This is why alignment is both science and spirit. Science explains the mechanics, energy, vibration, resonance. Spirit explains the experience, union, flow, embodiment. Together they reveal that you are more than a body practicing rituals. You are an energetic being, living in a quantum field of infinite possibilities, and your frequency is the bridge between thought and reality. The mind might ask, but how do I change my frequency? That question leads us into the practices of embodiment and alignment, which we will explore in depth soon. But for now, understand this. Gratitude is like a spark, a beautiful beginning. Alignment is the fire. One can warm your hands briefly. The other can light up your entire life. When you realize this, something inside you shifts. You stop blaming yourself for gratitude practices that didn't seem to work. You stop seeing yourself as powerless or unworthy. Instead, you begin to see that you were playing only one note when the universe was waiting for your entire symphony. Alignment is that symphony, and when you play it, the quantum field responds in kind. So the invitation is clear. Move beyond the illusion that gratitude alone is enough. Step into the deeper reality, where gratitude, when woven into alignment, becomes a force that reshapes your world. The science confirms it, the spirit affirms it, and your heart already knows it. Alignment is not a distant ideal, it is your natural state, and the more you return to it, the more the universe mirrors back the beauty you already are. Now that we have uncovered the limits of gratitude and the truth of frequency alignment, the natural question arises, how do we actually shift from one to the other? How do we move beyond the surface practice of saying thank you into a lived state of resonance, where our frequency becomes a magnet for the life we desire? This is where the journey turns practical, because alignment is not a vague ideal, it is a state you can cultivate, moment by moment, through conscious choice, embodied awareness, and energetic practice. The first step is honesty. Too often, people force gratitude as a mask, layering it over feelings of fear, frustration, or longing. Alignment begins when you stop pretending. Instead of writing down, I'm grateful for my job. When in truth you feel drained by it, you allow yourself to acknowledge the real emotion. This is not negativity, it is honesty. When you face what you truly feel, you create the possibility of shifting it. You cannot align with abundance while denying the frequency of lack vibrating in your body. True alignment requires that you feel what is real, and then consciously choose to rise beyond it. From honesty flows presence. Alignment does not happen in the past or future, it happens here, in the living moment. Many seekers write gratitude lists, while their minds race about yesterday's mistakes or tomorrow's worries. But alignment demands presence, the willingness to slow down, to breathe, to inhabit the body fully. Take a single conscious breath, feel it enter your chest, and notice how your awareness shifts. In that moment, you are not lost in longing. You are present. Presence is the ground on which alignment grows. Once you are present, the next practice is embodiment. This means no longer just thinking about gratitude or abundance, but living as if the reality you desire is already here. If you want love, how would you breathe if love were surrounding you? If you want abundance, how would you carry yourself if abundance were your natural state? Embodiment is not about pretending or faking. It is about tuning your body, your posture, your breath, and your energy to match the frequency of what you seek. In doing so, you tell the universe, "This is who I am," and the universe responds accordingly. Visualization can be a bridge here, but not the kind of visualization where you merely see pictures in your mind. Instead, imagine yourself already living the reality you desire and feel it in your body. If you visualize financial abundance, don't just imagine numbers in a bank account. Imagine the ease in your shoulders, the freedom in your breath, the way you would smile differently, knowing you are supported. That feeling, that embodied frequency, is the true signal that the universe reads. Breathwork is another powerful tool. Your breath is the bridge between the mind and body, between thought and energy. When you breathe shallowly, you remain in states of fear and contraction. When you breathe deeply and fully, you signal to your body that it is safe, open and abundant. Try this. Inhale slowly, imagining you are breathing in the vibration of your desired reality. Hold that breath in your chest, feeling it expand your being. Then exhale gently, releasing all frequencies that no longer serve you. With each cycle, you are not just breathing air, you are breathing frequency. You are aligning with life itself. Another essential step is emotional release. Alignment is not achieved by suppressing emotions, but by allowing them to move through you. If fear or sadness arises, let it. Cry, shake, write, or move until the emotion shifts. When you resist emotions, they become blocks that weigh down your frequency. When you release them, you rise naturally. Think of it as clearing static from the radio signal so that your desired frequency comes through clean and strong. Beyond these practices lies the art of attunement. This is the daily choice to keep your vibration in harmony with the life you desire. It is not a one-time shift, but a continual tuning, just like keeping an instrument in tune. Attunement may mean choosing uplifting music, spending time in nature, surrounding yourself with people who embody love and abundance, or practicing silence. Each choice becomes a thread weaving your frequency into alignment. Over time, these choices compound until alignment becomes your natural state. The contrast here is powerful. The old self forces gratitude with a pen, hoping the words will change their life. The new self breathes, embodies, feels, and attunes, living as if the new reality already exists. The old self writes lists to convince themselves. The new self vibrates so strongly with their desired reality that gratitude flows without effort. In this way, gratitude transforms from a tool into a byproduct of alignment. It is no longer something you have to practice. It is something that arises naturally because you are already resonating with the frequency of your dreams. Imagine two seekers. The first writes each morning, "I am grateful for my home," but secretly worries about bills, compares themselves to others, and carries tension in their chest. Their words say gratitude, but their vibration says lack. The second wakes up, places a hand on their heart, breathes deeply, and feels the warmth of safety in their body. They align with the frequency of being supported and abundant. From that state, they whisper, "Thank you." Which one do you think the universe hears more clearly? The difference is not the ritual, it is the frequency. This is why alignment is liberation. It frees you from the cycle of doing more, forcing more, writing more, as though spirituality were a checklist. Instead, it invites you into being. You do not have to force gratitude, you become gratitude. You do not have to chase abundance. You embody abundance. This is the profound shift from surface practice to true manifestation. The path beyond gratitude is not about abandoning it, but expanding it. Gratitude remains beautiful, but now it is amplified by alignment. When your body, breath, emotions, and energy resonate with the reality you desire, gratitude becomes natural, powerful, and magnetic. You no longer practice gratitude to get something, you live in alignment, and gratitude flows because you are already in resonance with the field of infinite possibilities. So the invitation is simple yet transformative. Stop forcing gratitude from a place of lack. Begin embodying the frequency of the life you wish to live. Feel it in your breath, in your body, in your choices. Align yourself daily, and watch as gratitude becomes not the practice, but the natural song of your being. This is the essence of true reality shifting. Gratitude was the beginning. Alignment is the completion. Together they become the frequency that reshapes your world. As we arrive at the close of this journey, pause for a moment and feel into everything that has unfolded. You began by recognizing that gratitude, while powerful, often leaves seekers feeling incomplete when practiced without alignment. You explored the illusion that gratitude alone is the golden key, only to discover that its power blossoms when it flows from a deeper frequency. You've seen how science and spirit come together, revealing that the universe is not fixed but responsive to vibration. And you've learned that true transformation begins not in forced lists or rehearsed words, but in the living embodiment of alignment. This is the great contrast. The old self lives in cycles of forcing gratitude, hoping reality will change while secretly vibrating doubt. The new self breathes into alignment, tuning body, mind, and spirit into harmony, and gratitude arises naturally as a byproduct of that state. The old self waits for change to arrive before feeling grateful. The new self aligns with change now, and draws reality into resonance with that vibration. The most important truth to carry with you is this: the universe responds not to what you say, but to what you are. Gratitude as thought is like knocking at the door. Gratitude as frequency alignment is stepping into the house. One lives at the surface, the other transforms your world from the inside out. As you integrate these teachings into your daily life, let them be simple. You do not need to perform elaborate rituals or strive for perfection. Begin with presence. Feel your breath, notice your body, allow your emotions to move through you. Choose practices that raise your vibration and align you with love, freedom, and abundance. Let gratitude emerge from that space. Let it be natural, alive, and embodied. Remember, too, that this is not about rejecting the practices you've done before. Gratitude lists, affirmations, small daily thank yous, all of these still carry beauty, but now you know how to expand them, how to infuse them with true power by weaving them into alignment. Instead of forcing gratitude, you let gratitude flow as the natural language of your frequency. So, as you move forward, carry this truth: gratitude was never meant to be the final destination. It was meant to guide you into the deeper song of alignment. When you vibrate at the frequency of your dreams, gratitude is not a practice, it is your nature, and in that state, reality has no choice but to mirror your resonance back to you. Take a breath now, feel your heart, and let these words settle into you. You are not waiting for alignment. You are alignment. You are not chasing a future reality. You are the frequency that creates it. Gratitude is your whisper. Alignment is your song, and the universe is already singing with you.